this new video. Today we're going to take a look at the new community day for the November 2022 with Teddiursa. This Pokemon going to be featured here. Looks like a lame Pokemon at the first glance, but if you take a look a little bit closer, you're going to be seeing there that there's going to be a new Pokemon coming in. It's going to be the evolution Ursaluna, going to be evolving from the Ursa Ring, which will only really evolve during this time of event, and then when we have a full moon again. This is a new mechanic to evolve this Pokemon, because you have to have like the full moon in the main series games to evolve this Pokemon. This Pokemon will know the move High Horsepower. This move will do 100 damage in trainer battles, and we can take a look at this later a little bit. We now have confirmation at least for the power. The energy we can guess, there are basically 3 possible ways for this, and I think one of them stands out a little bit. But we can take a look at this later on. Full moon. Here you will see that from that starting you will see a full moon in the skies, which will allow you to evolve your Pokemon there. So if you want to have Ursaluna, which you definitely want to, like spoiler alert, this Pokemon is going to be amazing, you definitely want to try to evolve it during the community day here, as you will only really be able to do this during the full moon. And yeah, you can see, I guess, the full moon in game then afterwards, and yeah, soon the moon sets, you will not be able to evolve it anymore until it's full moon again. Community day ticket, it doesn't really matter too much, but what is important here is it's 3 times Stardust. Stardust for catching Pokemon, which is going to be amazing, as this will allow you to gain a lot of Stardust for this Pokemon. You kind of want to power it up anyway. This is going to be most likely the most hyped community day this year, very likely, to be honest. It's going to be an amazing Pokemon, it's going to be an amazing shiny, and it's also going to be amazing bonuses. And new Pokemon release in general is so cool, and we will see like a ton of good stuff here. And if you can take a look here on the potential of this charge move, which is going to be then now the move, let's call it the move High Horsepower. I just put in 2 different variants in the game code here real quick, as we can take a look here. We don't see it here yet, but we have it at 100 power, of course. And I put it in for 55 energy or 50 energy, because you see here all the 100 power moves. You have Bug Buzz, which has a debuff chance as well, and it's not the best move. Definitely going to be better than a Bug Buzz, right? Aura Sphere, which is never really used, has basically the same thing there with 55 energy, which I think will be the thing. Could be still 50 because you have something like Media Mesh, but Niantic tends to make moves a little bit less viable than back in the day. Like, they don't really overdo the moves, so we don't really have the craziest new moves coming in usually. So what I think it's going to be like an Aura Sphere clone. That's what I think for this move. Could still be 60 energy, but I don't really expect it. Like, that would be a Thunder clone. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Thunder. Thunder is pretty neutral, to be honest. So yeah, I would think it's most likely a Stone Edge clone then as well. So one of those things, maybe 50 energy. If it's 50 energy, it's even better. But yeah, other Pokemon will learn higher horsepower as well. There are some Pokemon that would be able to learn higher horsepower. A ton of Pokemon would learn it. A ton of Pokemon would be able to benefit from this move. Literally nearly everything here would be able to learn it. And hopefully we will see, like, in a different move update, maybe at the end of the next season, that we will get this move on some more Pokemon, because it would make a lot of Pokemon way more viable. Now we can take a look at the moveset here. We will see that it most likely will have Shadow Claw. It doesn't learn counter in this version of the game, as it's basically counter what got removed from the game in this game, but it might come back again for the new game that's going to get released, I think, 1 day before this community day or something like this. So yeah, this one will not have counter most likely, but Shadow Claw is very likely, and most likely tackle otherwise. We see some different moves that could learn. Most likely some smaller move like Ice Punch will be available for this Pokemon. Otherwise that would be something like Aerial Ace, or I don't know, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Rock Slide, anything like this. It could learn, and hopefully will learn. And yeah, then we have higher horsepower, 1 time with 50 energy, 1 time with 55 energy. And if we can take a look at here, we will be able to see that it actually does some decent damage-ish for a lot of Pokemon here in this meta, which is cool. It's going to be able to counter something like Bastion or Sableye as well, as you're going to also have a pretty much pressure with your fast and charge moves against those Pokemon. You're going to gain the ground typing as well with Ursaluna compared to the Ursa Ring prior. And we can take a look at the Ultra League now as well, which will show you that it actually can beat a ton of stuff here, like the Trevenant, like the Registeel. Going to have those stab move with the high horsepower going to be amazing. You're going to lose out the match up against Reggie still if you have the 55 energy, but it's fine. And then we can take a look at the Master League, and this is going to be the most interesting thing. If you can take a look here, Ursaluna going to get to 4,400 CP basically, which is a pretty high amount for the Master League. It's pretty decent. It's not as high as Mewtwo, but it's pretty close to this. The difference between this thing and Mewtwo is that this thing has a pretty high amount of defensive stats. So this thing is a pretty bulky boy. And this thing would, with this moveset, destroy the entire meta. I went too far. Here you can see, yeah, this thing would just destroy everything, to be honest. So I'm not sure how good they're actually going to make it, but this will be one of the best non-XL Pokemon, like non-XL, non-legendary Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Very likely. Like, I don't think there's a way that this will not happen, to be honest. Like, it's definitely going to get Shadow Claw, it's definitely going to get the high horsepower with either 55 or 50 energy, and then just really depends on the other move. And if we could take a look, even if they just don't get a, let me see how it would be if we don't get any bait move at all, which we of course will have. If we just would learn just one move here, just Shadow Claw and high horsepower, you will see it already destroys a ton of Pokemon, which is insane. Like, no bait moves, no coverage move at all, and you still would be able to beat nearly everything. So this Pokemon going to be amazing. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.